social and political sciences. John Donne is describing a couple mating. However, they are not concerned with the physical sex that must take place between them. Their souls have gone out, and they are interfacing and helping the new soul for which they are creating a human body to smoothly and competently enter into a lifetime as a human being in the earth world. Mr. Donne warns, else a great prince in prison lies. That is, if this is not done, if a man and a woman do not know what the facts of life are and what is happening when they conceive a child, the new soul will be confused and trapped in its new human body. It will be essentially in the same condition as a beast. On the causal plane, the body that a soul has there is called its seed body. What this means is that this body holds the seeds of karma, karmas that are, as yet, unmanifested or unrealized. These seeds predate their logical consequences, i.e., their manifestations. Therefore, when you come into this world, in general, the seeds of what your life will be have already been planted. You have, therefore, very little real free choice. The spiritual masters tell us that every breath you take is already counted. You have only so many breaths to take in a lifetime. Then you die. When you choose a mate and think about the possibility of children, it is very likely that your choice of a mate and also of the soul, which will now become part of your family as your son or daughter, was predestined in your karmas before either of you were even born here. When a man and woman get together and have thoughts of bringing a baby into the earth world, the soul that is scheduled to do this incarnation drops to the first astral plane, which is essentially in the same place as the earth. It stays close to the female, waiting. At the moment of conception, it comes in. Therefore, even if you use something like the popular morning after pill, you have still killed your baby and displaced its soul and, of course, committed a spiritual crime which will be charged against you in future karmas. During this waiting period, the soul can see you and hear you. A soul scheduled for a human incarnation in the present time is not stupid. It has had countless previous lives and has been a human man and also a woman many times before. In some way, it is linked to you and to your mating karma, and you all have been together sometime in the past. The period before incarnation is important. The soul, naked and with no bodies, is in a much more powerful position now than it will be after the incarnation. It knows who you are, it sees all the things you and your mate do, and hears everything you say to each other. Although it cannot avoid the incarnation, the things it hears and sees during this period will leave impressions on it. If you are pregnant by accident and hate the child you are carrying, these memories will continue to affect your baby in its lifetime. After incarnation, and before the child learns to speak, the memories of these things, as well as of its past lifetimes, fade out. But they remain quite alive in its unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind subtly affects the conscious mind. So, if your teenager hates you or does not care about you, it could be that it remembers that you hated it and did not care about it when you brought it into this world. Therefore, the preparations that you make when considering bringing a baby into the world are quite important. It cannot be expected in the present time that couples will be able to follow the perfect procedure that we gave at the beginning of this discussion. But they should be aware of it and use appropriate approximations. Here we will list some helpful points.
1.
Pick a mate for whom you feel, or at least for whom you think you feel, genuine love.
2.
During the period when you begin to think about having a baby, discuss things with your mate. Discuss the process of karma and reincarnation, and that you understand what will take place when you do conceive a child. 3. Spend some time with God. During the quiet hours of early morning, between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., get up and sit quietly somewhere and be alert. Silently, to yourself, go over the processes that you know will take place in the future. Discuss with yourself that you know that a soul has been assigned to your care under the laws of karma. Discuss that you are willing for this event to come to pass, and that you love the soul. Discuss that, although you are not perfect, you pray to God that He will help you and that everything will be all right, and that you are going to have a fine child whom you will love and care for.
4.
When it is time for you to mate, do not let your attention slip down to the animal level. Try to keep your thoughts on God and on the love you have for the soul, and reaffirm that you trust God and you know that everything will be fine for your new baby. These approximations are not perfect. However, They're certainly much better than gulping down a glass of wine and jumping into bed only to learn later that you're pregnant. The human race has fallen because of bad instructions and information in this area. However, this is a reversible process, and it can just as easily rise up again when the truth is once again known and actively considered and practiced.